And welcome to Chart of the Day Cafe for Tuesday, December 20th, 2016. Just want to read our disclaimer quickly. Trading stocks is a high level of risk and viewers should complete their own due diligence on any stock or underlying that they intend to own. 100% of the content of this video and communique is intended for journalistic and educational purposes only. This video and all indicators, strategies, and articles herein should not be construed as investment advice, not making any recommendations, always for your further homework. Regular viewers well know we always start our videos off with a look at the Russell Index, and for that we use the IWM, which is the ETF that represents the Russell 2000, and we step back to take a look at it on a 5-year monthly time frame. We were paying particular attention to this blue channel that the Russell traded within through all of 2014, had this little lift up and out in early 15, sold off, and then price strength came right back in, bringing us where we are right here, right now, up and over this light blue shaded line, which was resistance back here in 2015, but will now be support. So here's the candle for the month of November, went through with volume, and here we are so far for the month of December. I'm going to pull it into a smaller time frame so we can better see how price is behaving. Last week we drew this line in here, this orange line of more minor support. Here's that light blue shaded line that represents the area of support on the long-term chart. So with price up and over the 8-day EMA, which we use as our guide, this blue line here is our 8-day EMA. Price up and over the 8-day on the Russell, we will be putting a chart forward this morning. So our featured chart for today is OTEX Corporation. It's a Canadian company. We're featuring a Canadian today. But it's dual listed on the US exchange, it's OTEX. On the Canadian exchange, it's OTC. We will be looking at it on the US side, so keep that in mind as we go through the chart. Let me tell you a little bit more about the company. OTEX Corporation is in the software business services sector of technology. It develops, markets, sells, and licenses enterprise content management solutions primarily for the North American and European markets. It's got, at Chart of the Day Cafe, it's all about value, and OTEX has a nice high value score. Second thing I look for is growth, and OTEX has a forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 18%. Third thing I look for, can't always get, it is not a must like value and growth are, but I like to get it when I can, and in this case it is there. And that is a dividend yield. So the current dividend yield on OTEX is 2.02%, and the PE currently is 14.66. So with that, let's get into the chart. First of all, we're looking at the 5-year monthly chart. You can see that on the 5-year, it's in a beautiful uptrend. So trending higher on both the 5-year chart as well as the 2-year chart. What I like about this chart is that up and over this area here, I call it sky is blue. There's no overhead resistance. It's never been higher. So should it start to trend away from this trend line here, our orange line, that's always a nice thing not to have any resistance overhead. So you can see that we're sitting at this area of support on the 2-year chart. Let's move it away from the 5-year monthly to the 2-year weekly so you can better see how price is behaving here. There's that same orange line that offered resistance over here, but OTEX made it up and over that orange area with volume and is sitting in an area that I think looks kind of interesting here, right now. So nice kind of wedgie pattern taking shape. Should technology continue to trade in a strong manner, OTEX might be one to keep on your watch list. I'm never making any recommendations, just sharing my own homework. I do not currently own OTEX, but I think the chart looks really interesting here, especially with those fundamentals underneath it. So let's move away from the 2-year weekly to the 6-month daily. You can see that it had a nice day yesterday. I'm filming this at about 8:30 on Tuesday morning. The futures look to be opening up in the green. So should price strength continue, OTEX may start to lift off this area and move out of this wedge. Just to be clear, it currently does not have a 3 and 8 cross, which is what we look for. I know everyone has their own way of doing things. At Chart of the Day Cafe, we use this blue line as our guide, the 8-day EMA, and we like to see the pink move up and over the 8. So it currently does not have that crossover. As well, what we like to do, I'm going to move it back to my plain study. We like to look at the sector that our pick is in, and the sector that we're going to take a look at, it is XLK, technology sector. So let's go back and take a look at it on the monthly. We've looked at this chart before. Beautiful uptrend on the 5-year monthly chart up and over this area of prior resistance, now support and showing strength. So that's the 5-year monthly. Let's take a look at the 6-month daily. It consolidated here for a while, but it's moved up and over that area. Technology had a somewhat bullish day yesterday, but it's up and over our 8-day EMA. Should technology start to lift here, that would be good as well for open text. So we always want to check the boxes on our things that we have in our favor for our featured chart. Technology in an uptrend and up and over the 8-day, and open text trading in a wedge at an area of support. So in preparation for these videos, I always like to put other pieces of information in front of you as to why we are putting this particular featured chart on our watch list. And for that, we often go to equityclock.com to check the seasonality. I really like this website. It's terrific. I recommend it highly. You can see that in the month of December, open text is a little bit flat, but it comes into seasonal strength in January, February, March. Absolutely no guarantee that's going to happen this year, but it's nice to know that you have that seasonal factor in your favor. As well, we like to see analyst support for our picks, and we're looking at finbiz.com. You can see that for the most part, open text has favorable analyst ratings currently. And then the third thing is, I call it the changing story. Why would open text lift off of this area and go higher? And this might be part of the reason. Earlier this year, open text purchased the enterprise content division of Dell. So I'm going to include this BNN interview from back then that explains a little bit more about that acquisition and why it might be a catalyst for growth with open text. Let's go back and check the boxes for open text. We started by looking at the Russell. We use the Russell as our proxy for the overall market. Price on the Russell is up and over that 8-day EMA on the daily chart, and the Russell is showing price strength. We looked at the sector that open text is in, XLK, which is the ETF that represents the technology sector. Again, it's in an uptrend on the 5-year and 2-year chart and lifting off that area of support. Price on the XLK is up and over the 8-day EMA. Open text is in a long-term uptrend on both the 5-year and 2-year chart, and in an area of support where it may possibly want to lift. It's got a good value score, it's got a good growth score with a forecasted earnings growth rate of 18%, a current dividend yield of 2.02%. It does not have a 3 and 8 cross yet, so that box is not checked. It has seasonality in its favor. We looked at the seasonal chart. It's got analyst support, and we talked about sky is blue, meaning if it gets up and over this area on the chart, there's no overhead resistance. Current PE of 14.66, and the changing story, we're including that interview with the CEO. They've been buying growth. They purchased the enterprise content division from Dell in 2016, and that might be their catalyst for moving up and off this area of support and having price strength in the weeks and months to come. This is the last video for 2016. Going to take a break through the holidays, but wanted to take a moment out to thank you very much for watching these videos and to wish you and your family a very happy holiday season. We look forward to resuming the videos again in early January 2017 and look forward to a great year ahead. Thanks again and have a terrific holiday.